Welcome to the daily financial news, where we talk about all things economy, housing, real estate, and the like. Lots of stuff we can talk about today. We can talk about the blowout number, jobs number on Friday. We could talk about what's happened to the 10-year note. We'll obviously talk about the important economic numbers for next week, but unfortunately, I think we've got to start off with the disaster in Southern California. After listening to the All In podcast this weekend, where David Freeberg, really broke down the catastrophic impact in dollar amount of the events, I really did some more digging. And according to the All In podcast, the initial estimates were for damage to be in the total of about $50 billion. And when they had that conversation, they went on to quickly identify that a lot of folks have had to rely on what's called the California Fair Program, because folks like Farmers, State Farm, the like, have canceled insurance. And again, this is really a decision by California leadership. California leadership has made it impossible for insurance companies to appropriately price risk. And thus, the insurance companies have had to leave California. There's obviously stories about State Farm dropping 1,600 policies in the Palisades in July, a short 6 months ago. But again, this is because California leadership has made decisions that makes it impossible for them to price accordingly. And now the California Fair Program, if you don't know what that is, that's basically a state-funded program. It has about $700 million in cash. According to the All In podcast, they have bought what's called reinsurance to the tune of $5 billion. But even that is not enough to address what was initially forecasted to be a $50 billion problem. Now, folks, it's $150 billion. I don't know if you know this. I certainly did not know this until I went down this rabbit hole. The most expensive natural disaster to date was Katrina's impact on New Orleans and the surrounding areas. That was $200 billion. If the estimates of $150 billion are accurate, it is already in the top three. And by all accounts, what I have seen this morning, and I looked, there's still more to come. So when I look at all of this and I look at who is going to bear the brunt of this gigantic gaping wound, I don't know what else to tell you. Again, I would love to hear from you if you have any ideas, but it certainly seems like the U.S. taxpayer is going to be on the hook for California leadership's poor execution, poor management. There are no words. And I say this as somebody who lived in California for 50 years and had to get out. It was a state going the wrong direction, and I couldn't take it. And I was lucky enough to have the ability to leave, and we left. And it's really sad to see what's going on. Some of the numbers I've seen: 10,000 structures gone. The estimated it'll take 10 years to rebuild. There's probably some structures that will never be rebuilt, given again the legislation from the California leadership. So I suspect you and I and all of us are going to be on the hook. I just don't know how else it happens. It's pretty interesting. So yeah, ineptness. Thank you. Thank you for that. That's definitely a good word. There's lots of words I could use for that guy and his chosen minions. Not good. But let's get back to it. Let's talk about what happened on Friday. I don't know if you guys saw it, but Ty and I went live Friday right after the big job number broke. In case you didn't see that, it came in at 256,000, which was a beat by 100,000. Again, I thought what was even more interesting, if you didn't poke at it, was the household survey. The household survey actually had 56,000 jobs created. So again, a blowout number. The unemployment rate unexpectedly fell from 4.2 to 4.1. Obviously, that impacted the stock market. I think the Dow was down 700. But more importantly to me, the 10-year note ripped past the resistance level. Initially, I thought the resistance level was 4.7. I was reminded that it was actually technically 4.75. We now have hit that and closed above it. It will be interesting to see where this goes. But folks, hold on to your hat. There's a number coming next week that's probably going to be a problem. Yeah, it's going to be a problem. So again, we now above the resistance of 4.75. The next one is 5%. One of the things I'm proud of is that I went out on a limb, I think in late October, maybe it was early November, telling all of you that there will be no rate cuts in 2025. At the time, the Fed, I think, was calling for 6, might have been 4. And I'm like, guys, it's not coming. I don't know what you guys are smoking, but that's not happening. I'm on record saying that the December rate cut was a huge and gigantic mistake. However, no one has agreed to me at the big institutions until today. I read this on Saturday. Bank of America chief economist says, we now expect no rate cuts in 2025. In fact, the risk is skewed for a hike if PCE comes in hot. Both JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs has taken their expected 3 rate cuts in 25 down to 2. Both of them expect no rate cuts in the first 6 months. Actually, first 5 months. They both have pegged the first rate cut in June. Folks, higher for longer. No rate cuts coming. You should plan for it. Don't buy the house and date the rate. That was always stupid advice, and I said it. Only write disrespectful offers. Only write deals that make sense today at today's cost of capital. Crazy. We have the first sign of vultures. Vultures are circling Southern California, and James Wood, the actor James Wood, I don't know if you follow him on X or Twitter. I certainly do. He's very entertaining. James Wood talked about a friend who was about to sign a lease for $18,000 a month. I would like to have friends that could afford $18,000 a month, but that's a different story. Unfortunately, the lease signing was set for the day the fires broke out, so the signing was delayed. His friend went back to re-sign the documents, and guess what, folks? It's now $30,000 a month. $30,000 a month. There are lots of people displaced. Lots of people, frankly, will be getting insurance money to be rehoused as their properties are rebuilt. So expect rent increases in Southern California. Yes, rent increases coming to Southern California. I would also suspect probably real estate prices to take some gigantic jumps because there is just a lot of wealth and money out there. The vultures are, they are circling, and man, it's going to be a rough decade, I think. Catching you up on our Vegas event. Again, we're just counting down to being completely sold out. We now have 62 tickets left. I think we're 37 days away. So go buy your tickets. Don't miss out. 62 tickets. Only 9 VIP. VIP could be sold out in the next couple of days. If you're coming to Vegas, you've told me you're coming, you haven't bought your tickets yet, please go to Eventbrite, buy your tickets. I'm not increasing the tickets. Once these are sold, they're gone. And maybe we'll see you next year. I do want to remind you that I know and appreciate that a lot of you can't make it. So I went ahead and created the virtual event. The virtual event's cheap. It's $99. Also, remember, if you come in person or you buy the virtual ticket, I promise to get you a copy of the replay. So again, if you miss something or you can't make it, you will get the replay. We've only had 12 people sign up. I'm got to tell you, I'm a little disappointed. I thought I was doing something great for the community because so many people could not come. But maybe the additional expense that I took on wasn't worth it. The extra body, the extra camera, I don't know. Maybe it's early, I don't know. But yes, I thought more than 12 people would sign up for the virtual event, but that is where we are. Let's talk about school real quick, and we'll get back to the week ahead. We had Vito, Sissy, Joey, Carl, and Gunner all joined school in the last 2 days. Again, folks, introduce yourself, interact, unlock all that, unlock the $1,000 of free goodies inside school. It is not school, right? There is not a schedule. There's no homework. It is just a safe place to go, ask questions, network, and get a bunch of free stuff. All right, let's talk about the week ahead. We've got a pretty risky week ahead because a lot of the data is going to be inflation. If this data comes in hot, we will see immediate action in the bond market. And it really starts on Tuesday. Tuesday, we will get PPI, Producer Price Index. Think of this as wholesale inflation. Right now, just so you know, headline was 3%. Core was 3.5. I do not yet have forecasts, but more on that probably tomorrow. We will also get the Fed Beige Book. Right, this is a story of the 18 districts in the U.S. It's going to be interesting to me to see if there was any noticeable uptick post-election. Right, what we saw post-election, and I called it here on this channel, is the JOLTS report would surprise to the upside, and it did. And then again, the household survey report showing 456,000 jobs could also be seen as, businesses hiring more for growth, expecting deregulation and a better economy. We shall see. All these numbers have to be validated. One number is never a trend, but the story is getting pretty interesting. And I think the Fed Beige Book on Tuesday could help us understand that. Also, we are going to start to get Fed speeches hot and heavy. They will all be market moving. We have at least 2 on Tuesday. Wednesday's the big day, folks. This is frankly an ugly number. Ugly number. CPI headline last month was 2.7. It is expected to go up to 2.9. I might be wrong, but I think CPI went up last month too. So what do we call that, folks? We call that a trend. The December rate cut was a gigantic mistake. And I said it before, saying it again. CPI core is expected to be flat. I do believe this is the 4th month in a row it would be flat at 3.3. Again, these are expectations. We will see the numbers on Wednesday. The question I have for you is, let's just pretend for a moment that the forecast is accurate and it comes in at 2.9, knocking on the door of 3. I go back to what Bank of America just said, and folks, we've got to start talking about rate increases and stop the madness of talking about rate cuts. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. On Wednesday, we will also get 3 Fed speeches. Thursday, we will get weekly unemployment claims. Again, remember last week was a near cycle low at 201. It is expected to rise slightly to 210,000. We will also get retail sales, home builder confidence. I don't know how home builder confidence can go up. I mean, do you? Right? Rates are up 110 basis points since the Fed started cutting. Go figure. So I would expect home builder confidence to be down, but again, we shall see. And then finally, housing starts and building permits will be on Friday. So a lot of stuff going on next week. The last thing I'd noted down was Delta Airlines. Beat top line, beat bottom line. And what I thought was interesting is what their CFO had to say. The CFO said, 2025 will be the best financial year. Consumers are prioritizing experiences over stuff. And folks, that was something we brought you here on this channel well over a year ago, that we had bought enough stuff from Amazon and Temu and wherever the heck you shop. We are now interested in getting experiences and enjoying our life. And now we have the Delta CFO indicating that is where we are going. So folks, thank you for being here. The daily financial news, it is done live at 7:30 Sunday through Thursday. Do me a favor, go ahead and sign up for school. Get your tickets to the Vegas event, either in person or virtual. I've been working very hard on it. Got some more work to do, but I look forward to exceeding your expectation once again. And as was said earlier in the comments, if you could do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Right now, my channel is sitting at 66.6. Yes, we've got the triple sixes. Do me a favor. Let's get off the triple sixes as fast as possible. So if you can do me a solid and subscribe, that would be awesome. Take care. Have fun. Enjoy Sunday.